You thought you wasn't going to see me this morning, didn't you? Uh-huh. Did you doubt? Did you lose faith? Did you say, I wonder what's going on? Guess what? Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, and how do you do? Good morning, good morning to you. No matter what time I'm gonna appear before you. Good morning, y'all. Yes, right, Edwina B, Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. So when the enemy tries to distract you, all I need to do is to apply spiritual principles to technology and just be patient, work it out, and hit that go live button. And that's what I did. And so, because of the spiritual tools that I use, I don't allow myself to be as broken and as broke. So, welcome to the free conversation with Edwina B, free to hope from recovery, emerge, empowered to give hope to others. And so let me go through my little ritual here for those who may be new and those who need to be reminded. But the first thing I want you to do is to hit that share button, invite some friends into the room. So if you can do that for me, I will be appreciative of that. The next thing I want to be able to do is to explain to you that this is a conversation, okay? It's a conversation. It's not a presentation or a lecture. It's just a conversation. And sometimes saying that helps kind of remove the expectations, right? Of this, that. No, 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 no. It's a conversation between me and you. Okay? It's just us here, right? All right. And as a result, I personally want to share my experience, my strength, my hope, my wisdom with you as we deal with our brokenness and being broke. So, free is from recovery, emerge, empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Even though I come to you every morning just the way I am, in my pajamas and my favorite shirt, God is the best thing that ever happened to me. And as a result of that, I introduce to you spiritual tools, spiritual resources that I've been using for the past 34 years, being free to give hope to others from addiction, from alcoholism, from prostitution and mental illness, and all the associated lifestyles that go with those adversities, right? And so, as of February the 23rd of 2024, I will be celebrating 34 years of being set free. Yes, only to give hope to others. So, if you need a speaker, keynote speaker, call me for your event, your summit, your workshops. I am available because what you see is not necessarily what you get. Because right here, this is a conversation. Now, yes, I can put on this, and that, but I won't put on any makeup. No, the mask must go. And we'll tell you more about that as we continue. So, the next thing I want to share with you, right? Let me expand this here. Let's see. Nope, I don't want to do that. Hold on, y'all. The enemy again is still trying to do something here. I want to be able to, let me see, close that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I tell you, boy, the enemy is, woo! I wanted to get a full picture of what's going on. Woo! Do I need a drink of coffee? I think I do. Woo! Okay. All right, so the next thing I want to do is share with you is that, our basic topic is identifying our brokenness and being broke. Rochelle stopped me in the Rite Aid the other day, and we lit that place up saying, "Thank you, Lord," because somebody acknowledged that they were listening and that we needed conversations like this because all human beings are ill to some extent, and a whole lot of us are broke. But that changes when we have our knee bowing experience and we recognize that we cannot help ourselves. And at that point, we will call out and say, whoever they say you are, help me with my brokenness and being broke. That's on a physical, humanistic level. But when we learn how to apply spiritual tools and resources, we can obtain the status of being spiritually whole and spiritually wealthy. And so the topic is, are you tired of being broken? Are you tired of being broke? My son, Dr. Dwight Kenneth Dockery II, said, Mom, that's good. Why don't you use, I'm tired of being broken and broke, using spiritual tools for a spiritual breakthrough. So that's what we're doing here this morning and ever since January the 1st of 2024. All right. So let's go down to the spiritual resources that I've been using almost 34 years and will continue to use. Why? Because they work. They work, y'all. They worked this morning because the enemy was trying to not let me come on. I was like, oh, hell no. I'm going to relax. I'm going to check everything. I'm going to restart everything. I'm going to unplug everything, and let's start all over. Yes. But no, that's a part of my brokenness. The sense of urgency. Oh, I'm frantic. You better sit your butt down somewhere. And that's what I did. So my spiritual resources, of course, are the biggest selling book in the world, the Bible, whatever languages they are in, and then my 12-step spiritual program of Alcoholics Anonymous, yes, that I attend every day in one way, shape, form, or fashion. The 4 agreements, now 5, by the Ruiz family, and also Dr. Sonia of P3 Global. I'm in her, this is our 3rd day of her boot camp, right? And so that's why I wanted to share with you the resources and tools that are spiritual in nature to help me acknowledge, embrace, right? Be willing to address my brokenness and being broke, because I can't do it by myself. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's when we have our knee-bowing experience and say, help me, whoever you are, help me. And once we surrender all, that's where we became the student and the teacher appeared. So as we embark on the journey of recovery, we will have an experience some of the spiritual awakenings, right? That is promised to us. Because when we asked for help and we were willing to accept it, then guess what? We're on our way. And so as a result of these spiritual tools and resources, I have and will continue to experience spiritual breakthroughs. But I can't be selfish about it. I need to tell you about it, right? Which is why I want to invite you. My first virtual session is going to be Monday, right? Monday the 29th. And for this first session is going to be the kickoff, and there's no registration fee for the very first one, because I want to give you a little bit more of the process and identifying our brokenness and being broke. So my first virtual session will be free. It will be on Monday evening at between 7 and 8 o'clock. Okay. So I'm going to send a link and I want you to tune in for that. The following virtual sessions, there will be a registration fee. I'm also going to do my master classes. I'm going to have the first one free. This way we go deeper and deeper and deeper into the title of, are you tired of being broken and broke? And how to use spiritual tools and resources to have spiritual breakthroughs, right? So my first 2 virtual session and master classes are going to be free. After that, it will be a registration fee. Okay. So free, 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 free. But after that, no freebies. And you'll understand why if you haven't already. All right. So let's go to what we need to talk about today. Now, this is the ninth conversation about all the masks that I've identified, have worn, and in some cases still wearing. Yes, because it's not about perfection, it's about making progress, right? And so yesterday I shared with you a little bit about my parents, Edward Clinton Hall Sr. and my mother, Helen Jones Hall, right? And as a result of me sharing some of that with you, I was able to demonstrate how I saw, I experienced the foundation of my brokenness and being broke. Okay. And it started with my family, particularly with my parents. Okay. So let's do a quick review of that. I want to say that I shared with you, let's hide this, that the foundation of, or the beginning of the mask I learned and wear was that I acknowledged that I was addicted to getting attention from my dad. And I need to share with you that my dad was a very dominating person, very controlling person, right? Very stern person. And, but he had another side of him, or I should say, some other masks that he wore, right? He was very abusive. He was a womanizer, okay? He was a manipulator. And guess what? I wanted to be just like my daddy. Mm-hmm. Whatever my daddy did, I watched and I imitated. Even though I was a girl, I figured if I act like a boy and become a tomboy, he would love me and show me more affection. Not. Although I had 5 siblings and a mother, I learned a lot from them. So, but I grew up wanting to please my daddy. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. I shared with you yesterday about watching my mom do certain things to get my daddy's attention. Now, this is what we're going to be doing in our virtual sessions and our master classes, right? Laying the foundation of where our brokenness and being broke came from. And as Quetta Jones talked about, it started way before our culture was taken from our motherland and brought to this Western society, civilization. And so our brokenness, once we get deep, can go back as far as we can to see the perpetuation of brokenness and being broke. But watching my mother do certain things to get my daddy's attention, you better believe I watched closely and I imitated her every move, her every gesture, her every emotion, right? In order for my dad to pay her attention. Now, let me share this with you, right? When you are a child, as I was and all of us are, we see certain things and we become very curious, like any child that's developing, experiences, right? Experience. And so, and watching my mother get the attention of my dad, that set the foundations of my relationship with men. Didn't know that, but it did. Watching my mother get the attention of my dad established my relationship with other women. Mm-hmm. Now, so as a child for me, watching my parents interact, right, on a daily basis in one way, shape, form, or fashion, out of the 6 kids they had, I was the most curious. I was the most daring. I was the challenge because, listen, that's my daddy. Nobody can have my daddy but me. I shared with you yesterday or the other day, how I tried to uh, pee like my dad, standing over a toilet trying to actually pee like my dad. I know you're laughing, but that's okay. But that's how much I wanted my dad's attention, right? And like I said, it laid the foundation of my relationship with men, which is why the 3 husbands that I have were all older than me. I wonder why. Well, we get into that later, right? And so having the role of seeing my parents interact both in negative ways and in positive ways set the foundation for my journey in life. Okay. So, and talking and sharing some things too. Let me share this with you. See, my dad, I told you I'm transparent and authentic, right? My dad had this what they call it, the little black lock case. It was like a, oh man, I forget what you call it, but you had a lock on it, and one day he left it unlocked. And as curious as I was, I would go in the bedroom and I opened up that chest. It was a chest, right? It was a chest, a little floor chest. And I opened it up and I began to see some things, right? And then I found some pictures of my dad with other women. Ooh. I saw pictures of my dad getting service from other women. He's standing there like he King Kong. That's my daddy. And she's doing that to my daddy. Wow. So I dug a little deeper, right? And I found these books, right? These Playboy books, right? And as I began to look through the Playboy books, I was like, why is my dad looking at these other women who were all white and had pictures of him engaging and sexual activities by women giving him service, right? And so when I say the seed was planted, I wanted to be just like my dad. So what did I do? I took one of those books and I started looking at those Playboy books. Couldn't read. All I did was look at the pictures. And the seed of my sexuality was planted. If my dad liked women, like looking at women, and like looking at white women, then if I want to get his attention, I should do the same thing. Well, I did. I started looking at the white women in the Playboy book, and I found myself getting aroused. And so the seed was planted there and didn't come out till later about my sexuality. Yes, I wanted to be like a boy. I acted like a boy, right? I did things that boys did only to get my dad's attention. So you can see the confusion of the beginning of my brokenness and being broke. And on the other side was that, why is my dad looking at other women and other women are doing things to him while he is married to my mother? Confusion. So now I'm thinking, wow, she's not enough for my dad. And the seed was planted. Will I ever be enough for one man? The start of brokenness and being broke. Why did my mother tolerate the things she know he was doing? Cheating on her. Yes. Physically abusing her. Yes. Mocking her. Yes. Why did my mother stay? Confusion. So the seed of, will I ever be enough for one man? The seed was, do I stay in a relationship even though I'm being done wrong and hurt? So I began to think, wow, the only time my daddy really showed affection to my mom was after he abused her and us. So I grew up believing that if you love me, you will abuse me and therefore show me affection afterwards. Now, ain't that some deep shit? Oh, ain't that deep? You see what I mean? How my conversations, my virtual sessions, my master classes, and my boot camp is going to help us get that shovel so we can dig deep. Yes, we cannot heal spiritually unless we empty the trash can, unless we dig deep to the core of our brokenness and being broke. All right. So that's a little bit, right? So you see where the seed of brokenness and being broke started with me in my father's relationship, my mother's relationship, and watching their relationship. Okay. All right. So I want to plant another seed. Okay. This seed is with my siblings. Okay. Let's put this on the board, right? Let's put them all on the board, right? Yes. My sisters, Ruby, Deborah, and Carol. Yes. Do you see me? Yes. There I go with them big eyes. I still got them big eyes, right? And so what happened with my siblings, particularly my sisters, my brothers didn't come along until, I'll share about that. But let me focus on my relationship and the development of my brokenness and being broke happened as a result of my interaction with my oldest sister, Ruby, my second oldest sister, Deborah. I am the third child, and my baby sister, Carolyn. And so when I talk about the foundation of being broken and broke, we were competitive with each other. Oh, yes. Competitive. I told y'all, listen, that I wanted my dad all to myself. I wanted my dad. No, that's your father. That's your husband. That's my daddy. So the foundation of competition was ingrained in me with my sisters and my mother. So I knew what it was now, didn't know it then, that I was competing with them for my dad's affection. That's where my competitive nature came from. And it perpetuated throughout my life. There's more to that story, right? I also recognize that we were rivals. Yes. My mother had my oldest sister Ruby when she was 15. Yes, my parents were teenage parents, right? She had my oldest sister Ruby, right? And guess where she got pregnant at? I'm telling the truth. On the floor in the bathroom of the church. Bright Hope Baptist Church, to be correct. Yes. My daddy and mommy, they found a way to what? Yes. My oldest sister was conceived on a bathroom floor in the church. I told you I had some issues with churches and pastors and congregations, okay? I told you that, right? And so we became rivals, right? With my sisters. Ruby being 5 years older than me, and Deborah being 3 years older than me. And I come along 3 years later, and from what my parents told me, my dad was around me majority of the time because he was not in the army at that time. He was on leave or something. So he was able to spend more time with me than any other child. And I happened to look just like him. I told y'all about that, right? And so 10 months later, to the day, my mother had my baby sister, Carolyn. Listen, waiting 6 weeks didn't happen. Not with my mom. When my mom went to get checked in, no, when my mom went to get checked out, after, several weeks or whatever, 6 weeks, whatever, they told her to go check in. She was like, huh? Go check in because you're pregnant again. Ooh, all right. So that's how the formation of my siblings was developed. Okay. So we were rivals, right? I also recognized that each of us was unique in our own way. Yes, we were unique in our own way, right? Ruby, being the oldest, took the role in most cases of a mother figure. Unknown caller. Yep. And as a result of that motherly figure, Ruby was unique because she wasn't given the honor or the experience of being a child. She had to help raise my mother's children, her siblings. Yes. And so Ruby's unique in a special way. Deborah was unique in a special way. Deborah was born with some challenges, right? And we didn't know to what extent her challenges were. So we siblings used to tease her and pick on her and called her the odd person of the family, the one with the pig nose and stuff like that, not knowing what harm we were causing her. And the fact that we enjoyed teasing her. There was something sick about that, but as children, we don't know. All right. And then when I came along, 10 months later, my sister came along. So again, I have my uniqueness and my baby sister has her uniqueness because she was the only one that came out feet first. So she's backwards. Woo! This is what I mean by digging deep, deep, deep down and getting dirty of where the foundation of our brokenness and being broke started from. Okay. And so one of the things I did want to share with you is that we were talented as well. When my brothers came along, it was 6 of us, and we used to be the Jackson Fives with the one leader. We used to be the Supremes. We used to be Martha and the Van and Della. So we all were talented, right? And Ruby, her area of talent came from music and dancing, right? And Deborah's talent came from bullying. Yes. Why? Because she was bullied. Yes. So anytime anybody wanted somebody to beat somebody up, we went and got Deborah Jean. So when you recognize the areas where you had strength, right? It is negative and positive, all right? And so as a result, my sister Deborah Jean had some issues, and her and I were the ones simultaneously, at that time, and later on in our lives, were drug addicts and alcoholics. She didn't prostitute, but I did. All right. And so in closing, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how going deep into our background to find out that there's nothing wrong with us, but something did happen to us. And until we find out what happened, we can stop blaming others and blaming ourselves. When we talk about freedom from recovery, emerge empowered. Yes, let me find out what I've been concealing for years that needed to be revealed. in order for me to be healed. Do you hear that? That's what the 4th step spiritual program of AA talks about. Made a searching and fearless more inventory of ourselves. And so when we talk about, how it all started and how I was able to go back into my history to find out where it all began. As painful and emotional as it was the most freeing experience I've ever had, because I did not understand the importance of going back to find out what happened, how it happened, who contributed, why this, why that, right? So I can stop the blame game. And I can reveal what I've been trying to conceal and not healing. So instead of forget everything and run, in recovery and my other spiritual tools say, no, face everything and recover, face everything and rebound, face everything and rejoice, face everything and rejuvenate. Yes, but I have to walk and face the fear, face everything and recover. Okay. My time is up, and that was just another little seed that I wanted to plant. So as you continue to join me, make sure you share these sessions or conversations with others so they too can join in. In recovery, we have a saying: some of us must die in order for some of us to live. Interesting. All human beings are ill to some extent. All human beings are broken and broke to some extent. But utilizing and learning about spiritual tools, right, can help us, like it helped me to engage in these resources in order to attain a psychic change. Yes, a psychic change. And have some spiritual breakthroughs that we need in order to set ourselves free. From recovery, emerge empowered. And once we are empowered, like I have been, it is my honor, my duty, my obligation to share it with someone else. No. He did not save me to keep it. He saved me to share it with somebody else. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Okay, so join me tomorrow at the same time. And if I'm a little late, it's because of technology. But guess what? I'm going to show up if God's allowed me to wake up and he allows me to continue to be of service to him and to you. Be blessed.